Well, here's a bit of a detour from that little walk down memory lane this show's been going on as of late, but it is a nice change of pace, so I'm not complaining too much about it. Hazbin Hotel. Created by Vivienne Medrano and her team, this animated series was released on October 28th with the pilot and was received very well by most of the community, with over 6 million views on the pilot in its first week alone. Damn, that's very impressive. And speaking of impressive, I want to address the animation here because, my god, this was really well done. Yes, there are a few hiccups here and there, like the wheels not being animated in this scene, or bullets not popping out of Angel Dust's gun. However, for the most part, it's very fluent, the colors are bright, colorful, and definitely appealing to the eyes, the character models are great and memorable. This stands out one of the best elements of the pilot personally, and considering this took years to make, it definitely shows. Seriously, well done to the animation team on this one, it looks really good. But animation is only one part of a show, so let's go over to the story. The show is based in Hell, where every year a purge is enacted by the angels of heaven to deal with Hell's overpopulation issue. Charlie, the princess of Hell, is tired of these annual purges and comes up with a different way to deal with the overpopulation problem by setting up the Happy Hotel to rehabilitate the demons of Hell so they can be sent to heaven. Yeah, Happy Hotel doesn't really have a nice ring to it, so I can definitely see why Alistair, aka the radio demon, changes it to Hazbin Hotel at the end. But yeah, the story does sound intriguing, and the show does make it clear that this hotel idea has several problems to it and may not even work, which I do like, because it means that there's a struggle/tension for Charlie to overcome, which makes me, the viewer, interested in seeing future episodes to see if she succeeds or not in her plan, and that's something I can appreciate about this show. Yes, it may sound like an obvious achievement in terms of story, but given how the last piece of media I covered didn't have much tension/struggle to it, it's really nice for me to see this again in the story, so yeah, I'm gonna take some time to appreciate it. That being said, the story of the pilot is not perfect. There's a few bits where they give exposition and it drags on for a bit of time. Not only does this commit the sin of show don't tell in story writing, but even in terms of world building, this slows down the pace a bit. Now, it's not the worst of it I've seen. However, it is an issue I noticed when watching the pilot. Now, the worst of it, I'd say, would probably be for the radio demon, because we already saw him being an uncomfortable, messed up individual to be around, and at the end, we see his powers at work as he one-shots the sort of villain of the episode, showcasing that this man is someone you can't trust, so it just makes me wonder why they spent a couple of minutes giving his personal backstory. Again, it's not the worst of it I've seen, but it is something I noticed when watching. Basically, showing us why is better than telling us why is the TLDR of this personally. Speaking of Alistair though, let's talk characters. Charlie is the nice girl, but also has a temper to her, and is willing to throw down if need be, like when she fights the news anchor later on in the pilot, and she's even smart enough to not only not make a deal with Alistair, but also get his help to acquire employees for the place. She also has good chemistry with her girlfriend Vaggie, which comes across as genuine and sweet, even if it is only one episode so far, and while we don't see her attempts to help Angel Dust in the past, the two do have good chemistry on screen, and her reactions to Angel fighting in a turf war and what happened afterwards were handled really well and came off as genuine. Hell, Angel Dust gets a good scene where he tries to comfort her, but it's implied that he knows he's going to screw it up, so he stops himself. That's a great scene, showing that he isn't just a one-note character, even if it is just the pilot. And on that note, Angel Dust was hands down my favorite part of the episode. This guy's an asshole, he makes sex jokes, he trolls our main lead, and his humor is some of my favorite in the pilot, but then again, I'm a sucker for sex jokes, so that probably has something to do with it. Alistair was also a treat to watch. He's got a fun personality, I like his charisma, and I like his reason for why he wants to help Charlie, being that it sounds amusing to watch her try and redeem these demons, even if it may not work. Basically, he thinks it's a train wreck and can't help but watch. Dickish? Yeah, but I find it amusing, so I'm not complaining. So, yeah, hope we get to see more of this guy in the future as well. Vaggie is the partner of Charlie, but also doesn't take anyone's crap, especially from Angel Dust, and also wants to keep her partner out of trouble as much as she could. She also has good chemistry with her partner, like I said earlier, but her chemistry with Angel Dust coming off as frenemies led to some fun dialogue between the two. Yes, she has her fair share of exposition moments, but she was a fine character, and her personality is a nice addition/contrast to the rest of the main lead's personalities. And as for everyone else, yeah, they're fine. They serve their purpose, and I can't really complain too much about them, since they're basically just there for world building and or to give Charlie some conflict. And yes, that includes Katie Killjoy, despite her homophobic remark towards Charlie, because she's meant to be a character we're not supposed to like, and serves as an obstacle for Charlie to deal with. I get why others aren't a fan of this character, though. And since I got that out of my system, let's lighten up the mood with some jokes.
Drugs maim, drugs kill.
Don't touch the gaze.
Well, given how you gave this guy's penis a caffeine bath earlier, what do you touch?
That was shit.
Thanks for the obvious, Bendy and the broken lipstick machine. Speaking of jokes, the comedy does work in regards to the show being for older audiences, but I can't see why others think of it as predictable / unfunny. There's a lot of jokes related to sex, drugs, basically a lot of dark shit you'd expect in shows like Family Guy or The Simpsons. But for me, I like it because I don't really watch a lot of those shows, so this kind of humor is unique enough for me to find funny. But humor is subjective, so just because I found it funny doesn't mean others will, so I do get the complaint. I just don't agree with it because of my own taste in humor. Now that being said, this does raise an issue. If this does become a series, will they be able to pull off this style of comedy successfully with each episode, or is it going to get stale after a while? Because if this is their main brand of humor, that is a potential outcome depending on how many episodes this gets, and I don't want to see that happen, but it is a legit concern. Maybe they can pull it off, but that is an issue I wish to address because it is a potential issue that could occur if the series does go on. Because hearing similar jokes has the potential to get repetitive / stale if heard over and over again, and given how the show partially relies on comedy, that could hurt the show going forward if it doesn't work. But ultimately, a lot of my issues outside of the animation goose and the exposition, though minor, are about what happens if this does become a series, and I don't feel like these issues would be relevant now, since we ultimately don't know if this even will become a series or not. So a lot of the complaints I wanted to address would kind of be irrelevant if it doesn't work out. Hopefully stuff like the humor, story, and concept of redeeming demons doesn't become repetitive, boring, or bad, but again, only time will tell, so this is more of a minor concern for now. I also found the music to be pretty good, and Alistair / Charlie had really good singing voices. Oh, yeah, almost forgot. Vocal performances for each character was handled really well. Not much to really say there, just figured I'd give a compliment in regards to the audio department. And that's Hazbin Hotel. It's funny, well animated for the most part, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It does have its issues, but it wasn't enough to deter my enjoyment of it, and I do recommend it for older audiences who haven't seen it yet. Now, like I said, hopefully if this does become a series, this won't go downhill in terms of quality, comedy, and story, but that's ultimately an issue for later down the line. This is my thoughts on the pilots, so that shit could be worried about if it does become a series. As for me, I got a marathon to continue, so until we meet again, I'm David Grimm, and thanks for watching.